we're starting a new book. And it's this one. This is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. And there are two people responsible for this decision, that this being the next book that I'm picking up. First person is Lily from Literary Lily. A couple of weeks ago, she put a picture up on her Instagram stories and said, hey, I have no idea what I'm supposed to read. Can somebody just come to my house and pick me a book? Now, getting to her house was a bit of a difficulty because I live in Germany, she lives in the UK. But I did say, send me a picture of your entire bookshelf and I'll pick out something for you. She read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers and she had a phenomenal time with it. Then a couple of weeks ago, I thought, hey, why don't you do the same for me? Why don't you pick something out from my bookshelf and I will read it and I will see if you can pick something that is just as good for me. She took 2 seconds before she responded to me and she said, read Legends and Lattes, that is it, thank you, goodbye. So, that's person number 1. Person number 2 is Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads. We have done a couple of buddy reads before. This one is going to be our second, but she said to me that she had put Legends and Lattes on her September TBR. She saw that it was on my September TBR. We had discussed reading this together in a previous iteration of our lives, and this felt like the perfect time. So Nat and I are going to check in every couple of chapters, every couple of pages. I haven't actually asked her how often we're going to check in, but the chapters seem very short. The book itself is also, from the narrative section, quite short. It's only this much of the entire book is the actual narrative. The rest of it is the epilogue. The rest of it is a kind of a short story or another story, questions for book clubs, and a recipe. I love a recipe. I've been putting this off for a while because I'm a little bit scared. I am not a fantasy girly in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a fantasy reader. And I don't know what it was about this one that just drew me to it. I think it's the coffee shop setting more than anything else for this one. Because I love a book that is set in a coffee shop. I love romances that are set in coffee shops. I know that this has a slight romance in it, but that's not the main point of it. It's also got a lot of kind of mythical creatures and orcs, and it's not the thing that I usually read, but I have got somebody with me reading it, and I have got Lily that I need to check in with and tell. And also, I need to be done with this by Thursday because I'm going on holiday on Friday, and I don't want to bring this book with me because I don't want to put it into my baggage. Michael O'Leary said I'm not allowed to have any more space. So I really need to crack on with this book. I'll check in with you guys when I've read a little bit more.
3 weeks later.
We are now about 3 weeks, 4 weeks after I had initially planned to finish the book. And I haven't at all. I actually didn't finish it before I went to Mallorca. I could have listened to the audiobook while I was on the plane, but it didn't feel like that kind of vibe kind of a book. So it is the weekend of the 13th, 14th, 15th of October, and I am going to finish this book. Hell or high water, I'm going to finish this, which is going to be quite difficult because I have gone back to the start. I decided that I was going to go completely back to the beginning of it because I am not really sure I remember what happened anyway. This is now the book club pick for October for Bree's Patreon. So there are actually people that I'm going to be able to discuss it with. And Nat did say, when I have actually managed to pick it up, to message her, to let her know what I'm thinking, to give her all of my thoughts. So I am going to still do that. But I'm going to have a cozy weekend in. I'm going to continue with some knitting. I am going to make copious amounts of lattes. And I am just going to finish this book. Hopefully. Now Sunday evening. It is just coming up on 5:45. And I am going to get on that there couch over there when I'm finished editing the video that I'm just working on. I'm going to get on my couch. I'm going to pick my knitting back up. And I'm going to hopefully get through more of Legends and Lattes because I tell you, kids, I did not expect to be as in love with this book as I am. It's so cozy. It is so comforting. It's just what I need at this stage of the year. I'm really glad that I left it until now and I didn't read it on like a scorching hot 35 degrees day here in Berlin. I understand that most people will know what Legends and Lattes is about, and I had a general idea. There were little intricacies of the plot that I was unaware of. So I didn't know that the cafe itself was called Legends and Lattes, and I really should have kind of picked up on that because it's the name of the whole book. Also, when I had read like the little snippet that I had at the middle of September, I'd met Cal, so I knew that he was an important part of the book. I knew that he was like going to be coming and going every now and then, but I hadn't met Tandri, so I didn't know
that there was going to be a whole different person coming in to work here. I also love that this genuinely feels like a cozy little cafe in the middle of nowhere. It genuinely feels like the antithesis to a Cafe Nero or to a Starbucks or to an Einstein Cafe if you're here in Germany. It feels like the kind of place that you just go in. It's owned by like a 75-year-old grandmother who just makes tea and coffee every single day and has like a stack of freshly baked scones on the counter every morning when you go in. And they have like regular customers who always come in and they say, oh, I'll have the same again, Diane. I love that aspect of it. I feel like I have to have coffee with me when I am reading it. Like, this is decaf. This is non-spicy coffee. But I feel like I have to have it with me or I'm not going to enjoy it. I need to like sit on the couch with the audiobook, because that's how I've decided to do it, because Travis Baldree narrates the audiobook himself and he's so good at it. He really brings the characters to life. He's got like this magic storytelling, but he really brings his own story to life in such a phenomenal and just gripping way. I'm obsessed with it. So like I said, I want to get back onto the couch. I want to edit this video as quickly as I can so that I can get back onto the couch while it's rendering. Coffee in my hand. I'm going to put like a really cozy autumnal cafe ambient room on YouTube while I'm reading. I'm going to listen to the audiobook. I'm going to knit. I'm so excited. I'm going to have such a cozy evening in.
I almost forgot to finish this vlog. I've got Bake Off on in the background. That's how cozy the vibe has been for this book. Who had me loving a fantasy book on their 2023 bingo card? Because I sure as hell did not. I absolutely adored this book. I completely fell in love with it. And I think it was another case, like I said, as right book, right time. The evenings are starting to get a lot colder, a lot darker, a lot quicker. And I just was sat on the couch for most of Sunday night. I had the audiobook, I had my knitting, I had a cup of tea. It was the real cozy vibe that I have been looking for. And I think it was the perfect kickstart into autumn. Lily and I have spoken about this. Nat and I have spoken about this. I absolutely loved how this felt like a real coffee shop. I love the vibe that Travis Baldree gave it, where it was like a real coffee shop. You had somebody in the corner playing the lute. He was awful at it, but he came and he gave it a go. You had a baker who came in and like tried out different things and put things out on the shelves and they would be snapped up within seconds. And it made me really want cinnamon rolls. It made me really want to bake something. You had a guy who doesn't really like hot drinks, so he was the one who kind of invented the idea of an iced coffee. You have them slowly adding things onto the menu as the seasons change or as people's tastes start to evolve and people start to realize, oh, I like it with this, but I don't like it with this, or I would like to try it with this. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I was talking to Lily about it, and now she has recommended me a second book, and that is Bookshops and Bone Dust, which I have got a NetGalley copy of because somehow I managed to get a NetGalley copy of the second book before even reading the first. And I'm so glad that I have it now because I can just collapse into it when I am ready. I can just sit on the couch again and start reading that one. This one is set in a bookshop, and I'm really interested to see how that one is going to go because bookshops can also be really cozy. Bookshops can also be a welcoming haven for a lot of people. So I'm really interested to see what kind of a cozy vibe that is going to bring. I don't know if Viv or if Tandri or any of the other characters are also going to appear in that. And I think at the end of Legends and Lattes, there was like a pages of us or pages them something. It was kind of like a prelude of that one. So I'm really interested to see if the actual book is going to be in any way different to what we've just had. Also, speaking of the back of the book, there are some recipes at the back of the book that I am 100% going to be trying over this winter. And I'll let you know how those go. I'm flabbergasted that I enjoyed a fantasy book. I'm flabbergasted by it. I never thought that we'd get here, but we're here.
So now I need to go and find something else to read because I am in a little bit of a reading slump. I'm in a little bit of a book hangover because nothing is biting anymore. And we're gonna leave it here. If you would love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, either leave me the orange heart emoji or a coffee mug. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.